The New Orleans Pelicans have adapted to their existence without Zion Williamson. It wasn't pretty at first. However, for the first time since the third-year star was sidelined, the Pelicans are finally taking off. With a record of 27-36, New Orleans is gradually re-entering the playoff race. And the good news keeps coming, as Zion's latest injury update is the most encouraging to date. On the other hand, the report highlights a highly disturbing aspect of Williamson that the Pels will need to address moving forward. But first, a reminder about our brand new giveaway. We're giving away a PS5 with a copy of NBA 2022 and Madden 22. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple. First up, is he coming back? It wasn't until March 5th, 2022 that Zion and his Pelicans received highly encouraging news about his injuries. Williamson was cleared to resume his basketball activity. Furthermore, the forward will also be traveling to New Orleans to continue his rehabilitation. The news comes 3 days after the Pelicans announced that Zion had enhanced bone healing in his foot. In addition, the squad announced a gradual transition for him to a full weight-bearing workout and basketball activities. The 6'6" star does still remain out indefinitely of full game time. Zion will not travel with the Pels on road games, but he will complete his rehab in New Orleans. And additionally, he will get to be around his teammates and coaches whenever they are back home, which is always a positive in a teamwork-based sport. But ultimately, what was it that put Williamson out for such a long period of time? Now, the injury. The line in Las Vegas extended around the Thomas & Mack Center. It was July 5th, 2019, and Zion Williamson was making his debut. Fans were excited to see the main event, which pitted Williamson and the New Orleans Pelicans against the New York Knicks and his former Duke teammate R.J. Barrett. It didn't take long for Williamson to demonstrate why everyone was so enthusiastic about his NBA potential. The moment came when Trevin Blewett of the Pelicans missed a floater in the lane with less than 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Knicks center Mitchell Robinson tossed the ball into the air where it was caught by teammate Kevin Knox. Blewett darted in front of Knox, forcing him to bring the ball back to defend it. The only problem for Knox was that Williamson was still present. He pounced when he noticed the ball in Knox's arms and snatched the ball off him. Knox collapsed to the ground, waiting for a call that never came. Robinson spun around but recognized any block effort would be pointless. Williamson took one dribble, took 2 steps, and hammered it home. To the pleasure of the thousands in attendance, he flexed one arm as he backed away from the goal. Williamson was on the field for fewer than 3 minutes in the second quarter and 9 minutes overall. At halftime, the team revealed that he had a damaged left knee and will miss the rest of Summer League. A 7.1 magnitude earthquake halted play in the fourth quarter, preventing Williamson's teammates from extending their 80-74 lead. The game was never restarted. Williamson's time on the court was brief in what has become a snapshot of his career. The Summer of Zion was canceled before it ever began. Now, nearly 3 years later, he has played only 85 games in 3 seasons, suffering from a succession of injuries that have each been accompanied by a series of ambiguous statements from the team regarding his health and schedule. This season, the Pelicans have provided several such updates. In fact, the club has yet to provide an official date for Williamson's return after the offseason foot surgery that has kept him out for the whole season. That lack of clarity has become a hallmark of Williamson's time in New Orleans, which has been punctuated by highlights but clouded by concerns about his health, his commitment to the club, and whether the team and its top player can ever be on the same page. Next, Pelicans season after injury. The Pelicans were scheduled to finish the preseason with their 5th and final game against the Knicks, but as New Orleans journeyed from the Big Easy to the Big Apple, Williamson stayed behind to have imaging on his injured right knee. In a repeating theme, the team's official announcement concluded further updates will be forthcoming when available. Just over 24 hours before the Pelicans were supposed to open the 2019-20 NBA season on national television against the defending champion Toronto Raptors, the team provided the promised update. Williamson had undergone surgery to mend his injured right knee and that his full comeback to play was expected to take 6 to 8 weeks. New Orleans lost 7 of its first 8 games and then went on a 13-game losing run to finish 6-22 by the end of the season. And now, Williamson's return from injury in 2020. The atmosphere at the Smoothie King Center was electrifying on January 22, 2020, as Williamson geared up for his first team return after his debut game. The Pelicans constructed a playoff-like environment, equipped with red t-shirts on every seat and 165 accredited media members. Williamson went through his pre-game ritual casually, smiling smiling for the cameras and joking with teammates. After a 3-month wait, he was finally prepared to make his NBA debut. He wouldn't play a typical minutes load, but rather in what the team called bursts. The first burst was uneventful. He made 1 assist and 1 missed shot. His second burst in the second quarter resulted in his first NBA points. Nickeil Alexander Short Walker's fadeaway was unsuccessful, but Williamson was on hand for the rebound. He sneaked the ball in behind Trey Lyles for his first official field goal. Williamson had 5 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 turnovers through 3 quarters. Then there was the takeover. It started with his playmaking. With just under 10 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter and the Pelicans behind 97-87, Williamson scooped up assists on back-to-back plays, first to Josh Hart and then to E'Twaun Moore. What happened next almost blew the roof off. Williamson, who isn't known for his shooting ability, hit a 3-pointer from the top of the key to cut the Spurs' lead to 99-94. On the following possession, he grabbed a lob over DeMar DeRozan and completed it with a left-handed layup. The most recent burst was meant to be completed, but Williamson was not. Williamson nailed another 3-pointer from the top of the key as Nicolo Melli approached the table to check in. The Smoothie King Center erupted in cheers. Williamson then posted up in the center of the lane against Jacob Poeltl, missed the layup, retrieved his own rebound, and put it back in to trim the lead to 3. Another possession, another 3-point attempt. Melli was called back from the table by Pelicans head coach Alvin Gentry. Derek Favors approached the table to check in. As Williamson took over, he too walked back to the bench. With a 3-pointer on the left wing against LaMarcus Aldridge, Williamson gave the Pelicans a 1-point edge. In 180 seconds only, Williamson had transformed into the unstoppable force that many expected him to be. Williamson was out with 5:23 remaining. He was taken out of the game because the team medics demanded it. The Pelicans were defeated 121-117, dropping their record to 17-28, 4 games behind the 8th-place Spurs. Next, the rumors about Williamson. Even more than his injury, Zion's alleged unhappiness in New Orleans has dominated the conversation nowadays. With the 2019 first-round pick eligible for the rookie max this summer, many people are wondering how long Williamson and the Pels will be together. We know Zion has publicly expressed his disappointment about missing the playoffs. We know he's upset about how the team handled injuries during his rookie season, and we know that former teammates and coaches find him distant because he has spent the last 2.5 months on the other side of the country. He's now back in New Orleans. The injury is recovering, and he'll be back at home with his teammates. What has changed? Simply put, the Pelicans restored Zion's interest. It was one thing for Williamson to be isolated as the Pels stumbled through another disastrous season. However, New Orleans has turned the script in the last month. New Orleans is 4-0 following the All-Star break, thanks to Brandon Ingram and new addition CJ McCollum. Not only are 2 of those victories over the contending Phoenix Suns and Utah Jazz, but New Orleans has also won by an average of 26.8 points. Just over a month ago, the Pelicans were a dreadful 18-32 and the 12th seed on their own. They suddenly have exclusive possession of the 10th seed, good for a place in the play-in round. We're not conspiracy theorists, but it does seem unusual that Zion is ready to engage with his club again just as the Pelicans begin to show signs of life. The same team that will be able to offer that hefty rookie max in a few months. And that's a wrap for this video. See you in the next one.